Good morning everybody, it's Eleanor here from The Love of Stitches over here on YouTube and also under that same name on Instagram. So please join me if you'd like. But it's Wednesday. How is it Wednesday again? I'm sorry, but these Wednesdays are just coming round too fast. But so it's Wednesday the 1st of February. How did that alive? There. Oh, it's one of those mornings and I aren't redoing it again. I've already redone this section once before, but we'll go there. Anyway, it's nice to see you all. I do have a brilliant announcement to make in this video. But first we'll go through what I've been working on. Since I last saw you last Wednesday, does anybody else call it the hump day? At work we call it the hump day because now you're on top of the hill and it's all downhill to the weekend. Anyway, so since I last filmed, I had big plans for this week, but unfortunately I fell ill. The joys of being diabetic, but hey ho, I managed to get a finish in and some stitches in on my other work. So firstly I'll show you my finish, which was the freebie design from Whilst Iris Snaps, the little bunnies. There we go. Really enjoyed working on that. So I want to make that into a little pillow, and all the border is done in hand. And I don't know whether you can tell or not, but the love hearts, they're done in a slight whisper thread. So I really like that. But you can't really make that bum out, but you can in true life. There we go. So that's my finish for the week. It doesn't count towards one of the finishes that Sandy told me to do because it was a new start as well. I did try and get away with it though. Sent her a picture saying number 4, but she wasn't having any of it. She saw right through me. So I worked on that. So I've got plenty of fabric left on there to do something else. Then we've got the Home for the Holidays book, and I was working on, let's find the picture for you, Christmas garden. There we go. And I'm not sure if I'd already started this motif when I spoke to you last, because last week is in a bit of a blur, but I started on that motif there. So, and she's nearly finished. I did take it to our meetup on Saturday, but you tend to do more talking rather than stitching. But after the announcement that was made on Saturday whilst we were at the Red Lion, I had to change my plans a bit. I'll go through that in a minute. So that's been worked on Dr. Smith's tonic with the called for threads, and it's on 40 count. So there we go. I will try and put some more stitches in her. Do we all call them hers? Or is it just me? So that's Christmas garden. Let's put her to one side. And if you haven't seen the threads, there are all the threads. It's just 4 colours. You've got Endyme, Heirloom Gold, Calico Kitty, and that one is Fool's Gold. And because we've got 2 variegated threads in there, it really makes it stand out. It's really good. That's what gives it the variation. So that's why I stuck with the called for threads. So just bear with me. I do at some point, I do want to do 'Tis the Season. Just see if I can get a better picture without showing. Yeah, there we go. 'Tis the Season. I do like that. So there we go. Right then. So on Saturday, Sam, who organises our stitching retreats for the Yorkshire Stitchers here in York, obviously Yorkshire, just outside Bradford in Baildon, the Hollins Hall. She's been keeping a secret close to her chest for apparently 5 weeks. And it's not right often I get silenced, and I was stunned with what she had to say. So at the retreat, which is on the 3rd of March, 4 weeks away, can't wait, first retreat of the year, and it might be my last retreat of the year, but we'll see. Anyway, she announced that we would be having a guest speaker come to the retreat. She'll be there all weekend, and she plans on doing a sort of like a talk on Yorkshire samplers, and we know I like my Yorkshire samplers, and there were plans in place that she might, if we wanted, do a second talk on the Sunday as well, but I don't know what that's about. Anyway, she'll be there all weekend, so I can't wait. And it's Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. She'll be coming with Sue, with all her fripperies. Is it oh, I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, she'll be there with all the fripperies, and she'll be selling her things as well. So, Hands Across the Sea Samplers. Well, it had to be said, I was absolutely gobsmacked. As you were aware, I love my hats designs, along with my Whilst Iris Snaps and Northumberland Sampler House. So I had to dig out my stash of hats designs, and it turns out I've got 5 on the go, and none of them are particularly small. So Saturday night, I had to get out, just pop this out of the way because I've still got Christmas garden in my hand. So Elizabeth Weston came out to play. There we go. And she's not exactly small. I thought I'd work on the border to make sure it meets up and the fabric is big enough, because I'm using a fat half of 40 count. And it does meet up. There we go. So I don't know whether you can see all that, but I did the entire border. There we go. She's very hard to show. So there is 3 shades of green in the border, but I just went out with the outline of it first, and then started working last night on the other 2 shades. So previously I'd only worked sort of like that section there, so up to there, so there wasn't a lot already done. So last night I started working back on the other 2 colours of the border as well. So at least then we know I've got enough fabric and she's going to fit nicely on there. So that's what I've been working on since Saturday. Now, if you've watched myself and Ali on the Yorkshire Dolly Mixtures, which is here again on YouTube, we filmed on Saturday. No, Sunday. Sorry, we tend to do it Sundays, every other Sunday. We have a 5 of 5. Came up with this idea after watching Carol, the Saltbox Stitcher, when she was doing Mania, and she was working on 5 projects for 5 days, each project, 5 of 5, which is 25 days out of the month. That's perfect. I can do that because after a certain amount of days, I need to change. I get bored. Not bored, I just get, sort of like, I wouldn't say bored, I would say more burnt out on the piece. So I need to move on to something else to re-energise myself. So this turns out to be day 5 today for this, and it's the start of a new month. So I'll be, because I've got 5 hat swips on the go, I'm going to do the 5 of 5 on those 5 hat swips over the next month in time for the retreat. So with Elizabeth Weston, I'm using all the called for DMC. There's not wrong with DMC. Definitely nothing wrong with DMC. So I could either start a new one tonight because we're on day 5, or carry on this for another 5 days. But as I said, I don't want to get burnt out on it. Let me know what you think before tonight. You know what to do. Comment below. So, what are the other 4 that I'm working on? And in fairness, 3 of them are big. And Elizabeth Weston is big. So we have got Mary 395. Here we go. I'll show you where I am on her. And I'm using a Silks for You for this one, and it is PR057, and she's been stitched on Sparkly's Moral, and it's 1/2 metre that I'm using. So she, like I said, she's a big one. So this is where I am so far. So I could get a few more of the alphabet in there, not a problem. But as you can see, it's a big piece of fabric. So there we go. So do I work on her tonight for 5 days? Get me a bit more of that alphabet in. Sorry, I need to fold the mess up. So that's where we are with Mary. Oh, be careful, Eleanor, you've got a needle loose there. And I've just tried stabbing myself. So there we go. Mary 395. And then I've got Anne Tom Uffendale. And again, how much have I got done on her? Not a lot. But what I have got done on her, I like. There we go. So we've got the top done. So do I work on her for the next 5 days? Here we go. And again, she is done in DMC. We like a good DMC. Okay. And again, we've got all the DMC threads there. I do have another Flosstube video which shows you how to twist your threads, make them look really neat and tidy. So have a look in my history. So that's number 3. Then we have another red sampler, and it's a Maria Vincenza Leccia. That's it, I pronounced it right. And she is huge. She's shallow, but she's very long. And I am using, it's a Silks for You P126, and it's a variegated one. Is this one? And this is where I am with her. Let's see if I can get my arms stretched long enough. There we go. So I've been working there. Last time I got out, I did take her to Scotland a few weeks ago and worked in the hotel. But that's the full length of her and half the drop. So yeah, she's a big girl. And if you're wondering what that fabric is, it's 40 count Little Bunny by Extrude Designs. I'm so glad I got quite a lot of stash at the beginning of lockdown in terms of fabric, because of Brexit and the pound at the moment. Fabric has just become so expensive. So I haven't bought any Extrude fabric for some time because of the costing. So that's why you'll find some of my newer starts are just on plain fabric. Unless it's been out of my stash. So there we go. So Maria. And then, last but not least, is the smallest of the lot. And it is Jane Fiddis. I did work on it a couple of weeks ago when we were doing a virtual. So I'm quite pleased with what I got done then. She's a lovely little Scottish sampler, and she is on plain fabric. But there we go. That's what we've done. We've got the whole outline. Can you imagine 5 days on her? Should be quite a bit done. And I am actually using 103s for this one, and I'm really pleased with how it's working. Look at that double running stitch. And she's a beautiful, beautiful little Scottish sampler. So that's the 5 for my 5 of 5. But as I said, which do we work on first? Or do I work on one and get it finished? Because if it's a big one, it's not going to be finished for the retreat. And I do have other ones already kitted up, ready to go as well, which I've not got out today because, as always, I've got work soon. So let me know what you think, and we'll take it from there. But I am super excited to be meeting Nicola. I know that there is the big stitch later this year. I shot the big, is it sampler stitch? Anyway, the retreat that she's organising. Unfortunately, when it was announced, I was very ill with COVID, so I wasn't able to get my name down, and there's quite a big waiting list apparently. So, but maybe next time if I save my pennies. But we'll see. I do know a few people that are going. I just hope they have a fabulous time. So let's stop dwelling on that, shall we? Because I get to meet her in March. So that's the 5 that I'm going to be working on. Now, along with the 5 of 5, the Yorkshire stitches have what we call roll the dice. And it starts in March at the retreat. And what you do is pick yourself 5 whips. Not 5 whips, sorry. I'm going back to 5 of 5. So it's 12. So you want either 12 whips, 12 new starts, a mixture. We had one lady a couple of years ago that actually had 1 whip and she worked on it all year, but she just kept changing the name of the whip. And it was the Ranger from Lord of the Rings. So it was a big stitch that she did, full coverage. And it was stunning when it was finished, absolutely stunning. And all she did was just rename the chart every month, which was quite funny. But you can have a mixture of whips, mixture of new starts. If you've only got 6 whips, put them in twice. If you've got a favourite that you want in a few times, put that in first, number it, and then put any others in that you want to do. I will be announcing my 12 in a couple of weeks because I haven't chosen them yet. I do want them all to be samplers or smalls. So watch this space. So with the roll of dice, as I was saying, digress again. So you've got your 12 whips or your new starts or whatever you're working on. Number them 1 to 12. Every month we will throw a dice, and it's a 12-sided dice, and whatever number comes out, you work on whatever you've got against that number. So something for you to think about. It's good to, if you've got whips that you've not worked on for a long time, you know, you can do it that way. And then you can always put them into your 5 of 5 afterwards if you want to carry on working on them, you know, following months. So that's something for you to think about, and I can always announce what number it is for that month here on my channel for you. We do announce it on the Yorkshire Dolly Mixtures as well as if you're a member of the Yorkshire Stitching Retreats Facebook page. We do announce it on there because we do it as a live, so you can see what number it is. So fun and games. So for the roll the dice, the first number will be drawn at the retreat on the 4th of March. So you need to get your things all sorted out for then. I hope I've made sense with that. I hope so. So I want you all to have a fabulous week. Fingers crossed I stay healthy this week, because I've had enough of being poorly. It's doing my treeing. But I want you all to have a fabulous week, and fingers crossed I will see you next week. And you never know what I'll be talking about then. So it might be something new. You never know. Have a good week. Love you all. Bye for now.